I was gonna say that.
Alright, it's going.
9-5!
Damn, we didn't even. That's the first thing you hear on your fucking thing. Sorry to the 3 listeners. Alright,
it keeps getting lower. Last time you were saying 4.
It's,
we have 18 subscribers. So I'm saying this is probably about 5 like people that listen every freaking time. So people catch up later and stuff.
I feel you.
You go back and you see the views go up.
I'm obviously not trying to insult anyone who listens to our podcast. Right.
And then shout out to the people who listen on Spotify. They're still behind on episodes. We're barely on like 45. Okay. Vices just dropped on the Spotify today.
What number is that?
45.
Oh god, that's so behind. That was like, it was like years ago, huh? But it wasn't. It's probably like just a couple months ago.
Bro, this is history.
Right, so 95. Okay, well, this podcast is going to be about journaling. And we're gonna.
It's kind of what we're doing in a way.
Yeah, this is podcasting is like verbal journaling, right? Instead of writing down all this shit that we have, our opinions, and sharing them through a group text or putting them on a message board or on a social media site, we put them on a podcast, recorded.
And journalism is like journaling, right? That's what they call it, journalism.
Yeah.
You have to write all this shit.
They have a bunch of basically.
Type it, write it, talk it, say it, like, or keep voice recordings is what I mean. Any means of like recording of some type of like data or your own personal thought, I consider it journaling.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's good.
That's a good
definition
of journaling.
All right. Why would y'all say it would be a good idea to journal? If you think it's a good idea. When y'all want to go first? Or y'all need to go first?
I guess since me, because I'm starting out with it from the last almost year and a half, 2 years of it now. I would say it's good because it clears the head of a lot of, thoughts and, ideas and stuff of that nature, because it could be anything. Like, you could be going through a relationship issue, writing out how you feel in a very poetic way. Because I have a poetry journal. I should really tell you what I have. I have a poetry journal. I have a personal conspiracy journal that I keep for myself. I have a quotes journal, and I have a history one where I write all my history. Everything that I jot down as far as like research that I do or ideas that pop in my head, or I'm watching a documentary and taking those notes. I write it all in the history journal. I actually have it all separated out by category and stuff like that.
Damn.
So it's like, if I leave anything on that earth, that's what I leave. Is the research and the knowledge that I've written, along with the ideas, with the other personal journal. So I have about at least 4 of them. And it's not like I write in them almost every day or whatever. But when I feel the need of like I just said, like for a bad relationship or whatever, it was good to get that heartbroken emotion out instead of choosing to go simp or go do toxic shit or
keep it in your mind, let it fester.
Right.
Yeah.
Get it out. Things you can't share with anybody but yourself.
Yeah. Nobody has access to that journal but me.
Get it out.
And it gets it out there. Especially like if you're going through good times. It's very good to put that thought out there, because now you're putting it out there in the universe and you have it written down. So anytime you're feeling down, you can just go back and look at it.
Yeah, I remember, I don't know if I mentioned on the podcast, but I said that the best way to deal with problems and when you have anger or hate or dread, anything, any negative thoughts, is like to get them out. Get them out there, and then so you can look at them, and you can look at them and say, hey man, that's not me. This is not what I want to be about. I do that mentally. You can hand that over here if you want. But yeah, doing it like that, being able to write down when you're angry, what you're feeling angry about, put it on paper that's the best way to look at it. You're literally able to look at it right there, and you read that shit. You're like, damn, that's a lot of venom I'm spitting. That's definitely not me.
You make that energy visible.
Yes.
And
then you realize I don't want this energy.
They could also, with like my poetry journal, some people can take it and write lyrics out of it or do whatever they want. That's another way of expressing journalism as well, is writing lyrics to songs or creating a different beat to something else. You're leaving a digital imprint that you created in your own heartbreak or emotion, and the only way you did that is getting it out. Just releasing the energy out of your own mind. So that's why I say like keeping like a poetry journal or a personal thought journal is always good. And if you're not good at writing, then just keep a voice memoir, keep a voice recorder with you. There's plenty of people that do that, anywhere.
Oh yeah, if you need to take notes, like a reminder. I do that with like when I think of jokes. I got a little joke journal. I got a sketch journal where I just draw.
Yeah.
And there's no pressure, I'm just sketching just random weird shit. Sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's not. But getting that kind of creative energy out, putting it out into something. I got a journal from Piccadilly where it's like but I haven't finished it. Choose your adventure. And it's like different kinds of journals. I started to kind of just do all of them, but it's like things it's challenges. It's like, oh, go talk to somebody and ask them. So I haven't really done that one.
That's pretty cool.
I got the one that's like 3,000 questions, and I use that one to interview myself on the podcast sometimes. And I've used that one on here to ask y'all random questions and shit.
Probably helps out throughout life too whenever you need to figure out something.
Yeah,
How
for
to
sure.
answer that questions.
For sure. So I've done poetry too. I just do random shit. I've never done it consistently. When I was young, I had you know Doug, the cartoon. You know how he would always say "Dear Diary" or "Dear Journal" or whatever.
Yeah, Doug would have a journal.
So I had a journal that was a Doug journal. And so I had prompts.
Like, it literally had Doug on it?
It had Doug on it. And
Damn.
on one page, I put something like, I was talking about my mom nagging, right? My dad, of course, he read it.
And he probably went and told your mom.
Showed my mom.
And what your mom said?
She just like, whatever.
I used to know someone, bro, who was like they're adult now, but they said when they were little kids, like 4, 5, 6 years old, when they would get mad at their parents, they would go and write on a piece of paper how, like, I don't want you to be my parent anymore. I don't like you. I'm leaving. So they would give that note to their parents every time they were pissed off. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Are they? Does it matter their ethnicity? But I'm curious of their ethnicity.
It's Mexican.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's funny.
But okay, so why I think it's good to do basically just kind of latch on what y'all said. It's good to get your thoughts out there. It's good, especially when if you have one of those idea journals. You know what I'm saying? You can hold only so many ideas. You know what I'm saying? You got to put that out there. I always compare the mind to like a bowl. You know what I'm saying? And you can fill that bowl only to a certain point though. Eventually, if you want to put more shit in that bowl, you got to empty it out. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean forget shit, but hey, put it somewhere, put it down somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I remember so much.
Like for example, that's why I've kept for the last 3-4 years. I kept a daily planner where I'll write down things that went on that day. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, it does suck when you didn't have a good day and something bad happened. It sucks to have to write that down, but you know what? It's gonna be there. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you're able to see that. Yeah, even though this past Wednesday was a bad day, hopefully I can make next Wednesday or Friday or whatever a better day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or any little good thing that happened that day, you write that down.
Yeah, for sure.
So that way you go back and it's like, I don't even remember the bad day.
Yeah, that's basically what my daily planner is, the highlights of the day. And yeah, low lights too. You gotta be real, right? Like, life ain't all.
So you don't make the same mistake.
Yeah, hopefully. Life ain't all flowers and butterflies. You know what I'm saying? Wish it was, but nah. Even if it was, you get bored, you get too comfy, and then.
Yeah, you need the winter drear so you can appreciate the spring.
But yeah. So for that too, yes, you know what I'm saying, and yeah, I mean that's why I think it's good to keep journals. I don't know how many I keep. I'll list what I keep right now. So obviously I talked about that daily planner. I keep that. I also keep a damn, I'm so high right now.
I got a dream journal.
A dream journal.
I forgot about that. Yeah, it's only got like a few dreams. I don't dream that
Let me
much.
go get this damn thing. Hold on. So I said I keep a daily planner. Oh yeah, okay. So I also keep a notepad for when I listen to lectures and I get good information down, right? And I keep another notepad because every time I read a book, for that book, I'll keep a piece of paper in the front and write down quotes or lessons that I got from that book. So I remember everything that happened in that book. I also keep it's the imaginary cabinet journal. Imaginary cabinet journal is it's interesting. It's good. Some people would say, "Wow, it sounds like you're a crazy person." But,
imaginary cabinet.
yeah.
Like, is it prompts to write stories?
No.
Okay.
So this is what I'll tell you what an imaginary cabinet is first. Okay, you have to pretend you're a president or you think about a king in his court. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Okay, your imaginary cabinet is minds of people, people of you whose minds you respect, ways of thinking that you respect or really admire, and you're gonna use them, and almost talk to yourself as them. So, for example, here's who I got in mind. I have Iceberg Slim, Sherlock Holmes, Ben Franklin, Hannibal Barca, Bobby Fischer, Neil Gaiman, Dreamville Melchizedek, Miles Davis, Merlin, the past me from when I was 5-6 years old, the future me from when I'm going to be 40-50 years old. You know what I'm saying? These are the people in my cabinet, right? So what do? So let's say for this day, right? I'm gonna write down what this cabinet, this round table, so to speak, is gonna talk about today. I write it down there, and then you basically go ahead and go in your mind. You can call it meditation, call it whatever you want, but you take this topic and you take it to that round table of these different minds, and you think about what each would say to you about it. So if you got a problem, what would Merlin say to me about it? You know, if I got a problem, if I got something going on in my life, what would the past me, 5-6 years old, say about it? What would the future me say? And I put that in, you know, you have the conversations in your head, and then you write down the best thing that you got. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, some people might say, so you're inventing personalities, and then yes, I am.
You are, but you're also going off personalities that already existed, so you're not completely making it up.
But I would also say that this is great for imagination. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
One of the things that we talked about that the world seems determined to squash is the person's imagination. You know, from the time that they indoctrinate you in schools. You know what I'm saying? To all the media stuff and everything. Like the goal seems to be to kill your imagination and have everyone think the same way, so to speak. So that's a good way too. I've also got this little bonus journal. It's called the Captain's Log. You know what I'm saying? And in here, I basically I write like I'm the captain of a ship, like a future. Not so much. I'm not into the water. I'm talking about like in the spaceship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm Captain Kirk, or
somebody from Stargate.
Yeah. There you go. Look at you, brother. There you go. And I write down what's going on in my life and how I would describe it as someone in charge, you know. Because think about, if I have to.
Should it be like that captain from Babylon 5?
Yeah, you know, Babylon 5, the TV show, that it takes place in space and it's a giant ship. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, the captain of that ship. I journal in here as if I was also a captain of the ship. You know what I'm saying? You're able to put those thoughts down in a much more organized. You can't just sit there and say, "Oh, I'm so sad," because no, you have to write like a captain. You know what I'm saying?
So do you get like situations like, "Oh shit, we were hit today"? It sounds stressful.
Well, yeah, you know, like.
But it sounds like
I find a way to describe it in those terms. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, like you know, for you know what I mean?
We were invaded or something.
Yes, you know, or let's say, you know, one of my crew members is having issues. You know what I'm saying? You know, personal issues, financial, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You see,
their performance.
Yeah, it might not be
affected.
Exactly. It might not be like that, but that's the good way to describe it, right? Yeah. See what I'm saying? And
I know this is like way off top. Well, not way off topic, but you know, the one underrated thing that happened in Fallout was the journals that they kept throughout the entire story. Like if you walk around the wasteland in all the games and you find them, they tell intricate. Is that? Did I say that right? Intricate stories.
So they're random journals you find.
Yeah, they're random.
People that died and stuff.
Yeah, where like you can find them where it's like before the wasteland happened, like before the whole disaster happened. You can find out the lead up to why everything happened, and you know, of course, in that game, a lot of people would rather want to see a cinematic storytelling of it. The way that Fallout did it was you got to go and look for these fucking journals, and when you find them,
I was just gonna ask, do you have to read them or can you play without reading?
No, you got to read them. No, you can play without reading them, but I would suggest reading them.
Right. I bet there's a lot of people who don't read them. They're like, "How the fuck is a little book?" But journals are fucking. Like and Frank, I don't know if that was real or not. That's a whole nother.
Well, it was a good journal that was kept, because journals like that throughout history.
There's a lot of famous journals, right?
Not even just famous, but you've also got the smaller ones where you have like.
But you got to think that some of the best stories are memoirs. You know, when you read the confessions of, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I'm a scary story fan, and my favorite scary stories are when you find someone's log, you know, or the last entry of someone, you know, like you find out what they were doing and how they ended up to their demise. It's really good storytelling. And for example, one of the books that all three of us really like, The Warrior of the Light, that's almost like a journal. You know, like each page is a different. But it's almost like. It's like how I write my planner, the lessons I learned that day. I also have another journal where I started when I'm 32. I started when I was like 26. It's the lessons I learned starting then, you know, like about the universe, about us as people, about time,
Love.
love, all that shit, bro. Like in that journal, as soon as you open it, you see the things that I'm about. It's love, light, peace, and wisdom. You know what I'm saying? / knowledge. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. Those 4 things could go into the Philadelphia podcast. You know what I'm saying? Because with those 4 things, that's how you will, achieve anything. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. But yeah, those are the journals that I keep, and yes, they help. They help me. Besides keeping my life organized, they do help keep my mind and my emotions organized. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, putting them on paper. You know what I'm saying? It's good to observe them and say, okay, you know what? I clearly need to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? Or especially if you have a planner where if the same problem keeps popping up, I need to address this. I notice that every week or every month I come to this issue. I need to address it. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see that. You get an eagle-eye view of your own life. You're creating an eagle-eye view.
An outside view, like a third person.
Yes.
Which is hard to do sometimes.
Yeah, that's the thing about journaling too. It's about staying consistent with it too. That's my problem too. Sometimes I get wrapped up in other stuff, or some days I decide I need a rest day, but the next day you wake up and you got other shit to do, and you'll forget. I'll go a few days without writing, but yeah, when I get back into it, I get back into it pretty good. Like for example, it's been a pretty weird week. With how the schedules are all weird, and I haven't looked at memes, which is something I do every Thursday. I haven't written much at all because the schedule. But hopefully starting later today, starting tomorrow versus a week, it'll be a normal week, and I'll go back to doing all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because right now I feel my mind cluttered. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of it's like a hamper with dirty laundry in there. I need to wash that shit.
Straighten it out, fold it, and shit.
Yeah.
Dang, I don't do it enough. Like I would like sometimes I would clean my room and then I would find like a journal from like 2015 and then I'll write a thing and it'd be like years later. I got like 2 or 3 that I started.
You can keep a journal designed just to keep your negative emotions, where you will just write thoughts of anger, thoughts of hate when they pop up.
But when I was young, that's how my journals were.
And it's good because I'm gonna tell you what, if you do it for the right reasons, right? If you do it just because you feel angry, don't do it because you're some little whatever. You want to be emo, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If do it for the right reason, do it for this. Think of it as a dirty towel that that you just use to clean dirt. Now you're trying to wring that dirt out. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's what hopefully you're doing to yourself as you write down that bad stuff and look at it and be able to say, this is not what I want to be about.
Right, you're watching the bad stuff.
You're wringing yourself out. Yeah, you as a person are wringing all that dirt off of you. You know what I'm saying?
The negative energy.
Yeah, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How long has this podcast been?
A lot. Oh, I thought it was like 30 minutes or something.
That must be the
17 minutes.
Must be the THC.
Yeah.
Hey, but it's a little mini.
Yeah, just like 93, the
Yeah.
blue light.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Alright,
we got some long.
That was heavy. I mean, that's not like no filler or nothing.
We
That's
got-
like straight pure
we-
fucking knowledge drop.
We got some long podcasts coming up anyway. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We'll be alright. So that was episode 95, journaling.
Journaling, you should try it.
Yes, highly
Peace.
recommend it.